Hello! A new video is in the works, a critical analysis of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And as you can probably tell from the title of this video, it's quite the positive analysis. Once completed, the video will go up as planned, but it's taking longer to put together than I originally estimated. A lot longer. So, I've decided to release the video in sections. This will provide my viewers with content, will hopefully keep the channel alive during the editing process, and will prime everyone as to what to expect from the full video prior to release. Keep in mind that these were meant to be part of a single whole, so there will be incomplete analyses and a lack of conclusions in some parts. Once the full video is out, there will be follow-up videos inspired by it, including another Godzilla vs. Kong analysis. Yay! And one last thing. This introduction will be at the start of each video, so if you want to skip it next time, slide on over to this time here. Right, all that said, I hope you enjoy this section of what will become Godzilla, King of the Monsters. A great joy. On with the film, and we're arriving in Antarctica at Outpost 32, which is supposedly next door to Outpost 31. I hope nothing happens here. The whole scene can be summed up as baddies assault goodie base, and we could move on. But there are a few details of interest. The baddies, eco-terrorists led by Alan Jonah, are the ones to tell Outpost 32 about the high alert they themselves caused.
Outpost 32, this is Raptor 5 on approach with reinforcements and supplies. Serizawa has all sites on high alert, so transmitting emergency codes now.
It's a risky bluff, but it worked. The assault is presented as quick, sudden, with little time for the base's occupants to react, showing the eco-terrorists' deadly efficiency. They also know exactly where to go and what to do, showing they either scouted ahead or did their research. They could also have interrogated Emma Russell, something that would have been easy to do given they have her daughter. The Russells themselves are treated nicely enough.
Let's go.
This humanizes the terrorists somewhat, but the silent acceptance with which Emma does her job indicates something else is going on out of shot. Perhaps words were had, probably on the way over, especially when considering this line.
Eyes straight ahead, deep breaths, just like we talked about.
But the crowning achievement of this scene has to be...
Mother of God. She had nothing to do with this.
Nice. We cut to Mark watching old family videos whilst waiting for Monarch to get their act together. The bright and colourful home in the video contrasts with the rest of the film, with its focus on single strong colours in each scene. Just like the breakfast scene earlier, this video is a window into a normal, untroubled life. This break into normalcy is interrupted by an emergency.
Something's wrong. He's never been this close before.
Who's he?
Who do you think?
Godzilla is agitated, and given what a baby Mothra did when agitated earlier, the outcome isn't looking hopeful. As Monarch begins its defensive measures... Hey, maser cannons, nice! Anyway, as Monarch begins its defensive measures, Mark Russell goes full David Attenborough.
I want him dead more than anybody, but unless this is a fight that you know that you can win, for God's sake, stand down. Open the shields. Let him know we're not a threat.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's bring him in for a beer. You out of your goddamn mind?
Serizawa shows an incredible level of trust in Mark here, which, along with how he talked to Mark earlier...
I'm sorry, Mark.
Emma always said, no one knew the Olga better than you.
shows these two have a history of working closely together, at least enough to trust him on this. Fortunately for them all, that trust is well deserved. Godzilla is revealed in all his glory, and from his displays the Monarch team decides something's up. Godzilla, apparently satisfied, swims away. His departure... His departure gives the Monarch team a direction and location, one that doesn't exactly raise smiles.
Dr. Stanton, what's your projection?
Antarctica. Good then. Wait, what's in Antarctica?
On the ride over, the team are filled in about the Titan kept at the Antarctic base. Monster Zero. We're told by Graham this Titan is off the books, and that despite Chen's best historical scourings, there is little mention of the beast. Chen throws dozens of pieces of artwork onto the table for us to look at, including depictions of George and the Dragon, Hercules and the Hydra, and the Red Dragon, which should be familiar to fans of Hannibal Lecter. Keep this particular painting in mind for later. This also tells us A. Chen's job at Monarch, and B. one of the ways Monarch is tracking down Titans. World building! But this combination of secrecy and lack of references makes it unlikely that the eco-terrorists would know of Monster Zero. This makes it even more likely that Emma told them about it, which makes it even more likely that the terrorists had a little chat with her. The presentation is interrupted by Stanton, who announces Godzilla disappeared. His explanation?
Dr. Brooks was right. It's the hollow Earth. That's how he moves around so fast.
This ties this film together with Kongs beyond the mere mentions of Skull Island here and there, as well as setting up events later in this film. Again, short scene, packed with information. Arriving at Outpost 32, the Monarch and terrorist forces clash. This culminates with an opportunistic and desperate Mark Russell coming face to face with Alan Jonah. And here, where the searching father and protective mother from the start of the film once again come together, the big twist of the film begins.
I'm sorry. Run.
Emma detonates the explosives and the eco-terrorists make good their escape. Mark runs for cover whilst being shot at and gives chase, only to stop to help this lot. This action ultimately prevents Mark from catching up to his wife and daughter and almost gets him killed, but it does save these guys. Outside the base, the eco-terrorists are flying away. A barked command from Alan Jonah instills a sense that Emma is being forced against her will here. But even so, as Mark stares up helplessly at the retreating aircraft, Emma activates the Orca and unleashes a terrifying Titan on the world. Love it. Terror is shared between Mark and Emma at the sight of Monster Zero, a terror shown to be well founded as the monster killed a group of Monarch soldiers. Monster Zero didn't need to do that, but he did it anyway. Madison, who forsook a selfless father for a mother who just raised a monster, tries to stop the Titanic terror, only to be thwarted. Just when all hope seems lost, a saviour appears.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla! Godzilla! Godzilla!
After a quick pose down and intimidation attempt, the ancient rivals smash into each other with flagrant disregard for the mere mortals underfoot. This is a battle of literal biblical proportions, one that could decide the fate of the world. A few cheeky details here. The scene is soaked in excitement, danger, ostentatious displays, and unfair tragedies. The fight culminates in Monster Zero escaping to the skies as Mark, having been caught in the shockwave of an explosion, actually suffers some physical damage and falls unconscious, unlike so many other films I can think of. The last image before we fade to black is of Godzilla sounding his frustration at the skies. There's a nice little detail I noticed during this fight. Godzilla falls over and blasts these buildings for an explosive display. Why does he keep shooting whilst falling over? Goji was mid-breath when Monster Zero hit him in the chest. The previous film showed he had to inflate and compress his ribcage to expel his radioactive attack. Ghidorah hitting him in the chest effectively winded the big G, forcing his breath out, resulting in these buildings being destroyed. Like I said, nice little detail. The world continues to be built upon with details about Monarch's headquarters, its many facilities around the globe, and the new technologies developed to help deal with the Titans, both subtly and not so subtly. We hear of Emma's work with Monarch.
How are they getting all this?
Emma isolated Godzilla's bioacoustics.
And since it's a more recent discovery, our data is limited.
Emma called it Monster Zero.
Things Mark himself might have known about or been a part of had he had stayed with the previously smaller team. We get more characterization across the board, more integration of the film's story with real-world history, a deepening of the mystery around the terrorists and Emma Russell's involvement, as well as the threat they pose. We also get time with Godzilla, seeing some good old bravery in the face of danger and a surprisingly caring side. He gives the display meant to scare off threats, but uses it to warn the humans that follow him. In the previous film, he seemed aware of people and didn't actively try to harm them, but he also wouldn't let them stop him from trying to save the world or himself. King of the Monsters gives him more investment in humanity, more awareness of them, and more care for their survival, which makes what happens to Graham all the more terrible. Graham, one of the twin faces of Monarch, and someone for everyone to look up to. The voice of reason accompanying Serizawa's zealotry, who had been a comforting ear to listen to Mark's outpourings, who fell to the same wicked indifference of nature as so many others before her. Which leads us to the grand focus of these scenes, Monster Zero. The build up to this fight is well structured, from the base assault reveal to Godzilla's display warning, the mystery surrounding the whole thing, and the twist leading to Monster Zero's release. It is a double whammy of build up. Those who don't know about Monster Zero are in for a surprise when he finally appears, the expectation of what this thing could be growing from scene to scene. For those in the know, it is a challenge of their patience to wait to see the great golden space dragon on screen again after nearly 20 years. Not only that, we finally get to see what a fully realised Monster Zero in a real world situation could look like, untethered from the restrictions of suitmation. For me at least, I was not disappointed. Thank you for watching this part of Godzilla King of the Monsters, a great joy. Videos will follow on a, hopefully, regular basis until the video is out, so look forward to those. Whilst you're waiting, why not visit my Etsy store and peruse some esoteric pendants, link in the description. Feel free to do all the YouTube stuffs and leave a comment if you have one. Who knows, maybe you'll have an effect on the finished video before it's released. Once again, thank you for watching.